This is my garden. Isn't it beautiful today? It's grown so much. This is where that big magnolia tree was, and now look at it. Absolutely amazing. There's so much more light, and now I've actually got some colour. It's like it was never there. The only person that misses my tree is my cat Rodney. He misses charging along and has done a few times, and then suddenly stops and realises it's not there. It's quite funny. We're painting the fence grey, and that's made a huge difference. Echinacea, that's a recently planted one because my last year's echinaceas have disappeared. No idea where, they just didn't come back. That often happens with echinacea. This old favourite, Bowles Mauve, is still going, and there's another new echinacea. I'm hoping I'll be able to keep them this time. They have such beautiful colours these days. Blend in well. Everything is just growing such a lot. It's loving the 30-degree heat, but it also loved all the rain last week, and everything grew and grew. The zinnias are just starting to flower, being very slow this year, from seed, but not as good as last year. A few more echinaceas there. That white one is unusual. Lots of lavender, sweet peas, a few England flags left over, some sunflowers. They're beginning to take off now. Hot lips seems to grow very well here. This came back from almost dead. These grew from last year. Ecchi and blue bedder. They just reseed themselves. Fantastic. Rudbeckias just starting to flower. My faithful tree. And look at the dahlias. I'm in love with dahlias, and so are the bees. I put them in here never imagining they were going to grow so big. Some are from Farmer Gracie, some are Sarah Raven, and in a moment I will show you some from Poundland. These are Monardas, which I didn't even know were in here. I thought they were a dahlia. That's an unusual one. Bees love them. Anything open is a bee. These are Poundland. Most of the yellow ones are. I don't know what their names are. I lost all the tickets. All the ink went. But these are the new dahlias. Aren't they beautiful? Anything open, the bees love. That's why I got quite a few of those. The chocolate cosmos, covered in ants, eating the black fly. And yes, they do smell of chocolate. Everything is doing well. Even the baskets. And look at the colours. These ones the bees don't like quite as much, but I love them. They are just so amazing. And hopefully these will flower right until October. I just love the colours. Cosmos, grown from seed, quite unusual. Got quite a variety of things here. Coming down in, it's got some shade down here now. The things have just been absolutely boiling this morning. It is unusually hot. Things like the succulents just can't get enough of the heat. But you do need to water them, or else they just go completely floppy. So wait till they're dry and then give them a good drink. and then they'll come back and they'll grow and flower. I needed a home for these cuttings that I brought from Cornwall, and they are growing under there. And these baskets here are just doing so well. They don't get sun all day, but they don't seem to mind. Just look at the colours. They're like a painting. Nature is wonderful. Lungwort, there are some cuttings there. They give nice spring colour. My olive trees even sprung back to life. Colours are wonderful. In here it must be 100 degrees. That's come back from the dead. Mimosa. Got some succulents in here. I had to get rid of some, and I had too many. So, unfortunately, some I had to say goodbye to onto the compost heap. These are doing well. Down here is doing particularly well because next door had a massive oak tree, which they took down, and now I've got lots of sun. So I'm very grateful. And I won't have all those acorns in the autumn. There are plenty of other trees, so we don't have to worry. Here's a shady spot where I sometimes find Rodney. It's even too hot for him. Beautiful colour. And still flowering. And they just go on all summer. These are all rudbeckias that I grew from seed. And these are sweet peas, covered in green fly. I have to wash them before bringing them in. And again, the beautiful cosmos, slightly unusual. And they make a change from the normal ones. That's Rodney's house. He goes in there. Alternative accommodation. He's got a little house in there. And there's his outdoor house. Everything's doing really well. It's strange to have grass that's green this time of year. And it does make things look more lush. And on a day like today, the bees are out, but the birds aren't. They'll come out later. I've got a dahlia there in a pot, doesn't seem to mind. And these are the winter baskets or tubs, still flowering, still looking good. A couple more dahlias that I've had to put into pots. I just didn't have room for them, but they are magnificent. Nemesia smells gorgeous. And in a dark corner, rudbeckias and some colour. Just gets a spot of sun later on. I hope you've enjoyed looking around my gardening.